Elks will go with Dahlberg, Miller, Salo, Hanson, Holmes, Jansen in net. Dahlberg on the draw for the Elks. Elks win the draw, comes back to Salo. Salo drops back to Hanson. Hanson looks up ice, chips up the boards out across center ice. Cardinals misplay at Miller and Dahlberg pressuring, puck loose in the zone. Cardinals come back with it. Thrown back towards Dahlberg. Dahlberg plays it along the boards. Comes to Miller. Miller plays it along the side of the bench. Sent up ice. Hanson gets there first. Looks up ice. Sent across to Miller. Miller sends it up to Dahlberg. Dahlberg kicks it into the zone. Alexander picks it up, throws it back up the boards. Skate in front of the net. Now carries it wide. Poked away by Miller. Miller holds it in the zone. Miller comes in. Miller gets tripped out in front of the net. Elk's going to get a power play early on. (14-16) left in the first. Elks with a power play. That is 2 for tripping on the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Gustafson in to take the draw. Up top to Bratzel. Bratzel sends it back down to Gustafson. Gustafson back to Bratzel. Bratzel shot deflected along the boards. Gerberg steps up. He'll play it down low. Back behind the net. Gerberg will hold it along the boards. Pass it up to Bratzel. Bratzel back to Gustafson. Gustafson plays it along the boards. Gustafson out in front off the side of the net. Goalie will glove the rebound. Elk's going to change. Dahlberg, Miller, Salo back on the ice. Dahlberg on the draw. Loose at the dot, comes up top to Lerberg. Lerberg's going to take a shot, goalie with a save. Rebound goes wide, back at the boards, deflected by Dahlberg. Dahlberg gets it back along the boards. Dahlberg sends it back on top to Lerberg. Lerberg to Bratzel. Bratzel shot deflected off the glass. Behind the net to Salo. Salo poked off his stick. Bratzel picks it up. Sends it back down low to Salo. Back to Bratzel. Bratzel to Lerberg. Lerberg to Miller. Miller being pressured. Back to Lerberg. Back to Miller. Miller will skate in. Miller's going to take a pass across to Salo. Salo can't get a stick on it. Puck into the corner. Back to Bratzel. Bratzel holds. Sends it back down to Salo. Salo across to Dahlberg. Dahlberg in the slot. Dahlberg shot. Goalie takes a save. Puck comes back out to the boards. Puck gets past Bratzel. Up ice. Lerberg there. Lerberg gets tied up. Lerberg gets pulled down. Puck goes wide into the corner. Bratzel ahead to Miller. Miller up ice. Miller skates it in. Carries towards the side net. Poked off his stick. Gets it back behind the net. Centers it back to Salo. Salo up top to Norton. Norton back to Miller. Miller back across to Harris. Comes back to Miller. Shot goes wide. Harris knocks it off his stick. Salo holds. Salo sends it back to Norton. Norton takes a shot. Goalie with a rebound. Back along the boards. Poked away by Salo. Salo pass across to Harris. Just wide. Alexander comes away with it. Successful penalty kill. Alexander has it back along the boards. Barth back down to Salo. Up top to Norton. Norton passes it down to Harris. Back up top to Norton. Poked off Norton's stick. Norton holds momentarily. Comes back to the Elks. Alexander gets back at center ice. Poked off the Salo's stick. Alexander will send it deep. Puck goes back into the corner and icing. 11:48 left here in the first. Power play is over. Elks out shooting the Cardinals 7-0 early on. Oh, they called a penalty on the Elks. It was not icing. It was a penalty on Harris. I did not see what the call was. So Elks will go on the kill now. 11:48 remaining. Face off in their own zone. Now they're pulling it back out of the zone. So it was icing and a penalty. Max Johnson will take the draw. Puck along the boards. Sent up ice. Back to the Elk River zone. Harris with it, or Hansen, I'm sorry. Hansen, ridden off the puck, gets it back. Backhands it up the boards. Alexandria holds, poked away by Remick. Remick kicks it out to center ice. Alexandria has it. Back up to center ice. Played across. He'll skate it in. Gets past Holmes. Holmes rides him off the puck. Puck out in front, knocked away by the Elks into the corner. Holmes plays it ahead. Pins it along the boards. Alexandria pulls it away. Out in front, taken away by the Elks. Holmes sends it up ice into the Alexandria zone. Back behind the net. Adjusting the camera here, so sorry about the shaking. Carried into the Elk River zone, sent right back up ice. Goalie back to play it. Back at center ice. Broken up by Schultz. Carried into the zone. The Elks send it back up ice. Gustafson's able to get it back into the Alexandria zone. 52 seconds left on the power play. Out in center ice, Dahlberg pressures, puck goes wide of the net. Holmes has it. Sends it back up, out to center ice. Alexandria has it again. Broken up by Bratzel. Dahlberg has it in the corner. Dahlberg sends it back up ice, deflects off an Alexandria skate out to center ice, back into the Alexandria zone. Cardinals will pick it up. Sent back up, cross center ice, broken up by Dahlberg. Dahlberg goes back out of the zone. Alexandria gets it back in. Poked away. Alexandria's shot saved by Jansen. He'll cover. 10:01 remaining in the first. 13 seconds left on the power play. Dahlberg will take the drop. Puck down low to Bratzel. Bratzel sends it up ice. Alexandria can't hold. Puck back into their zone. Sent ahead, knocked away by Brecken Johnson. To Dahlberg. Dahlberg's shot goes wide into the corner. Elks full strength. Back up the boards. Towards the blue line. Miller pressures. Alexandria turns it back down low. Now they'll skate it up and out across center ice. Set deep. Behind the net, up the boards. Lerberg, Dahlberg to play it. Dahlberg leaves it for Johnson. Johnson across to Miller. Miller up ice. Miller gets pulled down. Alexandria plays it down low. Back up top. Norton's shot gets through. Goalie with the save. Set back down low by Lerberg. Lerberg has it. Shot blocked. Miller weaving through traffic, sends it up top to Norton. Norton's shot out in front, puck's loose. Salo back up top to Lerberg. Lerberg steps up, he takes a shot, that's blocked, that's going to come off ice. Back to the Elk River zone. Norton sends it ahead, flex off of Harris's stick. Alexandria has it in the zone. Carried along the boards. Out front, Jansen with the save. Into the corner. Norton run into the boards. And we're going to whistle. That's going to be a penalty on Alexandria. Elks are going to get a power play. This is what the call is. Roughing is the call. .29 left in the first. Elks on their second power play shot. 9-2 in favor of the Elks. Dahlberg will take the drop. Alexander has it behind the net. Sent up the boards. Barth sends it across to Norton. Norton crosses center ice. Sends back into the Alexandria zone. Up the boards. Held in by Norton. Norton goes to take a shot and his stick snaps in half. New twig for Norton. Sent back ahead to Dahlberg. Dahlberg up ice. Carries it in. Dahlberg back behind the net. Back up the boards to Holmes. Holmes sends it across to Hansen. Hansen able to hold it along the blue line. Hansen sends a shot in, knocked down in front. Puck's loose. Dahlberg with a shot. Rebound comes loose. Out of the corner. Alexandria send it up ice. On net. Just wide of the net. Jansen for Hansen. Hansen looks up ice with it. He'll skate it ahead. carries it out. Sent deep. Puck goes back up the boards. Miller gets it towards the blue line to Holmes. Poked off his stick. Back in the Elk River zone. Hansen ties him up. Hansen throws it back up to the blue line. Miller with it. Miller skates it wide. Gets it over to Remick. Remick skates in. Remick's going to shoot. Goalie with a save. Rebound behind the net. Miller gets it back. Miller loses his man in the corner. Coming out front. Shot. Rebound comes wide. Alexandri has it again. Sent it back up ice into the Elk River zone. 30 seconds left on the power play. Holmes carries it out along the boards. Sent ahead to Harris. Harris carries it in. Harris behind the net. Plays it back at the boards to Brotzel. Brotzel across to Holmes. Holmes carries it in. Shot. Goal! Grayson Holmes. Power play goal for the Elks. 6. Puck along the boards to Brotzel. Brotzel sends it across to Lurberg. Lurberg sends it up ice to Johnson. Brecken Johnson sends it to Gustafson out of his reach. Alexandri gets it back. Played across. He's going to look up ice, pull it off the boards. Back up to center ice to Brotzel. Brotzel across to Lurberg. Lurberg will carry it in. They're carried behind the net. Gets ripped into the boards. Holds on to it. Now Schultz has it. Knocked off his stick. Alexandri sends it back up the boards. Out to center ice. Carried in. Shot blocked by Brotzel. Back behind the net to Gustafson. Gustafson gets it back to Johnson. Johnson knocked away. Gustafson able to get out to center ice. Alexandri has it again. Into the zone. Elks poke it away. Picked up by Lurberg. Lurberg up the boards to Johnson. Johnson tied up. Alexandri towards the slot. Shot sails wide of the net. Up the boards. Schultz takes it away. Schultz skates it up ice. Salo has it now along the board. Salo cuts towards the middle. Salo shot wide of the net. Salo gets it back. Up top to Norton. Norton misplays it. Puck leaves the zone. Alexandria gets it back. They'll carry it in. Out in front, poked away by Barth. Barth will pick it up behind the net. Barth sends it ahead. Alexandria holds. Shot wide. Back up the boards. Sent ahead to Salo. Salo holds it along the boards. They'll send it deep. Elks looking for a holding call there. No call. Dahlberg and Salo battle for the corner. Norton sends it back down low. Dahlberg has it. Dahlberg back to Norton. Kicked away by the Cardinals. Norton holds the zone. Dahlberg has it back. Gets to Miller. Miller looked for Salo. Lost control of the puck. Miller gets it back. Up top to Barth. Barth steps in. His shot is deflected. Puck goes wide. Out to the neutral zone. Elks try to throw it back towards the zone. Barth has it again. Flips it up ice. And we're going to say Elks offsides. I don't know that I agree with that, but 4:16 left in the first. Elks leading 1-0. Shots 12-2 in favor of the Elks. Harris to the drop. Comes back to Holmes. Holmes sends it back into the zone. Or Remick, I'm sorry. Remick sends it deep. Down low. Back up the boards. Holmes with it again. He sends it in on net wide. Johnson breaks it up. Alexandria gets it ahead, but the Elks kick it away. Elks going to carry it right back in. Hansen holds the blue line. His pass is broken up. Played ahead. Holmes gets it ahead to Harris. Puck taken away by Alexandria. Knocked away by Holmes. Alexandria wanted a penalty. That was a player losing an edge. No trip. Up ice. Hansen steps up, sends it right back in the Alexandria zone. Up the boards. Back out in the neutral zone. Brotzel across to River. Herbert head, try to go to Max Johnson, intercepted. Alexander comes back into the Elk River zone, sent deep. Behind the net, Lurberg with it. Lurberg tied up. Holmes, or Harris pulls the puck away, gets it up to Schultz. Schultz, back to Harris. Harris carries in, Harris gets pushed down. Backhand shot, goalie will throw that into the corner, back behind the net. Up towards the blue line, up and out. Brotzel stops it, slows it down. Brotzel's going to send it back up in the neutral zone. Intercepted by Alexander, throws it back in the Elk River zone. Brotzel with it again. Sent ahead to Schultz. His pass is deflected off a skate. Alexandri will send it back in the Elk River zone. Lurberg with it. Lurberg up ice with Gustafson and Schultz. Schultz shot goes wide, back behind the net. Gustafson up top to Lurberg. Lurberg throws it back down low. Alexander picks it up. Gustafson knocks it away. Puck loose in the corner. Gustafson has it. Tried to play it ahead, taken away by Alexander. Alexander will skate it up and out of the zone. Carried in. Brotzel slows him down, knocks the puck away. Lurberg off the glass to Schultz. Schultz catches it, throws it back up ice. Alexander back in their zone. Taken away by Gustafson. Gustafson gets ridden off the puck. Miller gets it now along the boards. Miller in the corner. Back up to the blue line, held in by Norton. Comes back to Gustafson, kicked away by the Cardinals. Elks play it across, puck loose in the zone. Salo has it. Salo back to Miller. Miller back to Salo, poked away. Miller knocks the puck away, puck into the corner. Salo has it back. Salo sends it out in front of the net. Barth takes a shot that deflects off the skater, off the net, and out of play. 1:16 left in the first. 1-0 Elks. Lone goal from Grayson Holmes. Dahlberg will take the drop. Miller gets it up top to Barth. Shot blocked. Miller holds. Miller and Salo battle for it along the boards. Barth steps up, knocks it back down low. Salo pokes it away. Alexandri gets it back, knocked away by Salo. Now back up to the blue line. Norton races up. He can't hold it in the zone. Elks to the outside. 56.8 left here in the first. Gets it back to Holmes. Holmes sends it back into the zone. Deflects off a Cardinal. Comes back out in the neutral zone. Dahlberg will carry in. Dahlberg down low. Gets it back to Miller along the boards. Miller up top to Hansen. Hansen takes a shot. Deflected off the stick and in. Salo. Salo gives the Elks a 2-0 lead. Salo from Hansen and Miller. Dahlberg gets it back to Salo. Salo to Hansen. Hansen was skated up ice. Hansen carries it in. Drops back to Miller. Miller gets pushed down. Alexander will skate it out 2-on-1. Coming back in. Shot. Jansen might have got a blocker on it, but it sailed high. Salo with a big hit. We're going to get a whistle here. Salo to the box. Interference. 22.9 left in the first. Elks leading 2-0 in favor of the Elks. Dahlberg on the drop. Into the corner. Holmes sends it back up towards the blue line. Miller gets it out of the zone. Dahlberg will pressure. Alexander sends it up ice. Out in the neutral zone. Poked away by Hansen. Miller slows him down. Miller's going to pick it up in the corner, and that will end the first period. After 1, Elks 2, Cardinals, nothing. Does not look like we're getting a Zamboni break. Minute 38 left on the penalty to Salo. Schultz. Hanson home to start the second. Elks on the kill for minute 38. Back into the zone, Elk River zone. Hanson with it. He's going to send it up into the Alexandria zone. Alexandria picks it up. Played ahead, but kicked off. Schultz's skate back behind the net. Alexandria has it again. Sent up in the neutral zone. They'll skate it up and out. Carries wide. Played along the boards. Now back up top. Shot deflected. Jansen with a save. Back behind the net, up the boards. Schultz will pick it up. Sends it up, back up ice into the Cardinal zone. 1 minute left on the penalty kill. Alexandria has it. Will carry it in. Taken away by Hanson. Ties him up in the corner. Alexandria gets it back. Back up top. Played across. Shot deflected off a Cardinal along the boards. Back up to the blue line and up and out. Alexandria regroups. Carried ahead. Schultz all over him. Alexandria plays across. They'll skate it in. Loses the puck. Hanson ties him up along the board. Sends it right back out in the neutral zone. 20 seconds left on the penalty kill. Sent back in, deflects off of Holmes' side of his helmet. Looks like he's okay. Holmes with a hit, knocks the puck away. Pins it along the boards. Taken away by Hanson. Hanson sends it up ice. By the time the Cardinals touch up, Elks will be full strength. Salo out of the box. Kicked away by Miller. Miller takes it off his stick. Miller skated in. Miller cuts to the middle. Shot, goalie with a save, rebound comes out. Miller gets it back, tries to center it. Cardinals get it. Taken away by Brotzel. Brotzel sends it to Miller. Miller has it at the blue line. Across to Salo. Off his skate, comes back to Miller. Miller tries to go down to Jackson, comes back to Miller. Miller up top to Bratzel. Bratzel to Lurberg. Lurberg walks in. Lurberg shot. Goalie the rebound. Rebound's out there. Back up top to Bratzel. Back to Miller. Miller's shot. Knuckle puck. Goalie will try to scoop it. Rebound comes to Jackson. Jackson's shot is knocked away. Back up the boards. Lurberg not able to hold it. Gets the puck back. Plays it back across to Bratzel. Bratzel head to Miller. Miller tries to go to Salo. Puck comes back to Miller. Miller cuts to the middle. Poked off his stick. Puck out low. Miller with a pass shot. Rebound comes out. Puck's loose out front. Cardinal goalie was out of the crease. Now the Cardinals got it back. Lurberg with it. Plays ahead to Miller. Miller gives it to Jackson. Jackson will skate it in. Jackson to Remick. Through his legs. Miller gets it back. Plays it up the boards to Bratzel. Bratzel sends it back down low. Remick has it behind the net. Remick to Lurberg. Lurberg shot. Goalie deflects that off the net and out of play. 11:50 left in the second. Harris with the drop. Puck loose along the boards. Remick tries to tie him up. Harris and Remick battle for it. Remick gets it back. Remick sends it back up top to Norton. Norton across to Barth. Barth plays it in the corner. Out in front, knocked away by the Cardinals. Comes back to Norton. Norton's shot. Goalie will snatch that out of the air. 11:31 left in the second. Remick picks it up off the draw. Right into the boards. Cardinals will carry it up to the neutral zone. Elks poke it away. Cardinals get it back. Played up ice. Into the Elk River zone. Broken up by the Elks. Cardinals have it out in front. Shot, block, another shot. Rebound comes out. Jansen will hold that between his legs. Gustafson, Brecken Johnson, Schultz back in the game for the Elks. Norton behind the net. In the corner to Schultz. Schultz again gets it back to Barth. Barth plays it ahead to Gustafson. Gustafson will skate it out. Gustafson across to Schultz. Schultz into the zone. Schultz shot. Goalie with the rebound. Puck comes out. Puck's loose. And Gustafson gets run into the post. So net is off. Holmes Hansen in for the Elks. Take the draw. Up the boards. Holmes sends it in on net. Goalie deflects that off the netting. On the boards. Straight ahead. Holmes knocks it down. Holmes will send it back down low. Brecken Johnson send it deep to Gustafson. Gustafson behind the net. Tries to go to Schultz. Schultz shot. Goalie slides across and makes a save. Good look for the Elks. Johnson gets up top to Holmes. Holmes plays it across to Hansen. Hansen. Shot out in front. Goalie knocks it away. Schultz with it now. Ties up along the boards. Cardinals come away with it. Johnson with a hit takes the puck away. Gets it to Hansen. Hansen cuts in the middle. Shot deflected into the corner by the goalie. Back up the boards. Holmes tries to send it deep. Cardinals throw it back out in the neutral zone. Hansen picks it up in the Elk zone. Played ahead. Cardinals intercept. They'll carry it in. Poked away by Hansen. Hansen up ice. Into the zone. Shot wide. Into the corner behind the net. Sent back up the boards. Played across. Elks get a piece of it. Holmes up the neutral zone. Comes back to Holmes. Holmes tied up along the boards. Passes it back to Hansen. Hansen up ice to Schultz. Just out of his reach. icing will be the call. .933 left in the second. Jackson, Miller, Salo, Lurberg, and Bratzo. Puck goes back to Jansen. Jansen redirects it to the corner. And Lurberg has it. He's shoved into the boards. Tries to push it up the boards. Out front. Played ahead by Salo. Salo skated out. Salo holds the puck, carries it in. He gets tied up, gets it back to Miller. Miller plays it along the boards, sends it back down low. Jackson and Salo. Salo gets it. Salo shoving into the boards again. Back behind the net. Taken away by the Cardinals. Sent up to the blue line, up and out. Bratzo pokes it away. Cardinals will hold it, played across. Pass across, out front to Jackson. Jackson gets into Miller. Miller throws it near side along the boards for Salo. Salo chips it ahead to Lurberg. Lurberg will push it into the zone. Cardinals get it back out. Back out in the neutral zone. Played off the boards. Lurberg had it, lost it. Cardinals pass across. Elks tie him up. Jansen will cover it. .829 left. Elks get 5 new skaters. Harris, Max Johnson, Remick, Barth, and Norton. Remick will skate it up, send it deep. Goalie plays it behind the net. Back up the boards. Johnson will pressure and knock the puck into knock the player into the boards and knock the puck away. Harris can't hold. Carried in by the Cardinals. Shot, Jansen with a save. Harris will take the draw. Puck down low. Out in front, broken up by the Elks. Cardinals get it back, played up to the blue line. His shot is blocked. Puck goes down low. Cardinals can't hold, taken away by Harris. Harris up ice. Harris carries it in. Harris to the middle. Harris shot. Goal. Couldn't double it in, but Bryce Harris gives the Elks a 3-0 lead. Goalie stuffed him at first, but the rebound came right out to the side, and Harris stuffed it back in. Played ahead. Johnson will carry it in. Knocked off his stick. Cardinals get it back. Knocked away. Johnson throws it towards the slot. Schultz has it now. Schultz behind the net. Poked away by the goalie. Played up the boards. Gustafson ties him up. Back up top to Holmes. Holmes walks in. Shot. It's deflected up over the net. Schultz has it again. Back up the boards to Hansen. Hansen across to Holmes. Holmes' shot comes in, kicked away. Rebound comes out. Holmes pokes it back towards the slot. Cardinals throw it back up ice. Hansen throws it out in the neutral zone. Gustafson and Schultz in 2-on-0. Gustafson to Schultz. Schultz shot. Goal! .6:58 left in the second. Schultz from Gustafson. Schultz, Hansen, Gustafson on the assist. Jackson going to take the drop. Miller picks it up. Sends it deep into the Cardinal zone. Elks go to work. Goalie with it behind the net. Throws it back up the boards. Comes back to Miller. Miller gets it back to Lurberg. Lurberg back to Miller. Miller tied up along the boards. Gets it back. Back up top to Lurberg. Sends it across to Bronson. Bronson sends a shot in. Goalie will love that. Puck into the corner. Picked up by Harris. Harris tied up, shoved into the board, stays with it, knocks the puck back down low. Comes up top to Lerber, gets deflected out of the air by Johnson. Johnson, good into the boards. Harris has it again. Harris tries to set it back down low, taken away by the Cardinals. Cardinals up ice, flipped away by the Elks. Elks try to play it ahead, Cardinals knock it out of the air. And we're going to get a whistle. Possibly played with a high stick. Got a face off back down in the Cardinal zone. Also shooting the Cardinals 28-7, leading 4-0. Harris will take the drop. Top to Norton. Norton sends it across to Barth. Barth tries to poke it ahead. Cardinals kick it out. Cardinals up ice 2-on-1. Norton racing back. Pass across, shot, goal. Cardinals on the board. 6:01 left in the second. Back up the boards. Cardinals misplayed along the boards. Sent back up to the blue line. Schultz went for a hit and he went airborne. Cardinals carried in. Poked away by Gustafson. Schultz gets out in the neutral zone. Gets it to Johnson. Johnson up ice. Johnson on a breakaway. Johnson shot. Goal! Bracken Johnson answers back. 5-1 Elks. Schultz able to spring Johnson. Skates up and does not miss. Back to Holmes. Holmes across center ice. Send it into the Cardinal zone. Off the top of the glass and out of play. On the draw. Cardinals have it. Back in their zone. Played off the boards. They skated up. Out of the zone. Schultz dislodges the puck. Cardinals get it back. Gustafson ties him up. Puck loose in the corner. Back behind the net. Up the boards. Cardinals pick it back up. Johnson, Holmes, battle for it. Puck goes back behind the net. Hansen with it now. Hansen to Schultz. Schultz tried to set it back up ice, broken up. Schultz gets it back over to Johnson, out of his reach. Holmes gets it up and out of the zone. Cardinals will get it back. Cardinals played across. Miller intercepts. Miller comes in with Salo. Miller tried to go across to Salo, knocked out of the air by Jackson. Played up and out. Cardinals send it into the Elk River zone. Holmes gets there. To Lerberg. Lerberg skates it out. Head to Salo. Salo carries it in. Sends it across, off the boards. Miller throws it up the boards, but comes right back to Salo. Salo has it up top to Bronson. Bronson sends it back down behind the net. Miller with it. Gets it to Jackson. Jackson throws it back up the boards. Play to Lerberg. Lerberg's shot deflected, goes wide. Back up off of Lerberg's glove, or Brotz's glove. Lerberg gets it, sends it ahead to Jackson. Jackson gets it to Miller. Miller leaves it for Jackson. Jackson pushes it into the zone. Back on the boards to Miller. Miller tries to cut to the middle. His shot, rebound comes out. Back up top to Brotzel. Brotzel's shot deflected, goes wide. Net was off. Salo got tossed into the net. 3:43 left in the first. Shot 38. The Elks leading 5-1. Cardinals move skaters. Oh, they're going to call a penalty on the Cardinals. 2 minutes. Power play for the Elks. Puck along the boards, down low. Miller goes to pick it up. Miller loses an edge. Back up the boards. Elks hold. Brotzel gets it to Salo. Knocked off his stick. Salo gets it back. Salo tied up. Back by the net to Jackson. Jackson with it. Shot. Goalie with a save. Miller has it. Battle for it down low. Salo not able to pick it up. Back along the boards. Cardinals played up towards the blue line. Just skated up and out. Sends it deep. Wraps along the boards. Back up the boards. Lerberg with it. Lerberg to Salo. Salo to Jackson. Jackson will carry in. Jackson along the boards. Cardinals get it back. They'll send it right back up in the Elk River zone. Sent ahead to Lerberg. Lerberg plays it ahead. Back up the neutral zone. Lerberg's stick snaps in half. Harris with it again. Harris gets pulled off the puck. Harris shot. Goal! Harris 5 holes the goalie. 6-1 Elks. Harris is second. Lerberg will need a new piece of lumber. Puck loose at center ice. Cardinals pick it back up. Sent back up ice. Elks try to tie up. Shot off the back of the net. Cardinals played in the corner. Back down low. Knocked over the Elks. Goes far side in the corner to Barth. Barth tries to play it ahead, taking over the Cardinals. Johnson can't pick it up. To the blue line and just stayed in. Back up the boards. Played across out in front. Cardinals can't control it. Barth throws it up the boards to Johnson. Cardinals throw it back down low. Out in front. Cardinals get it back. Shot. Goal. Just under Jansen's glove. 6-2. Elks played ahead across the center ice. Cardinals throw it back across center ice. Comes to Johnson. Johnson carried in. Johnson has it rolled off his stick. Johnson gets it back up the boards to Schultz. Schultz gives it for Hansen. Hansen will take a shot wide of the net up the boards. Holmes sends it back down low to Johnson. Johnson out in front. Back up top to Hansen. Hansen back to Holmes. Holmes shot. Goalie deflects that in the corner. Schultz along the boards. Up top to Holmes. Holmes sends it in, deflected off the goalie, goes just wide. Back up the boards. Schultz holds. Down low. Schultz sends it out top to Johnson. Cardinals send it up and out of the zone. Deflects off the stick. Back in the Elk River zone. Holmes behind the net. Gets back to Hansen. Hansen can't play it. Cardinals get it back. Taken away by the Elks. Johnson pushes it up to the blue line. Cardinals send it in. Deflected into the corner by Holmes. Holmes up the boards to Schultz. Schultz leaves it for Gustafson. Gustafson up ice. coming in. Johnson trailing. Johnson has it just roll off his stick. Johnson sends it deep. Cardinals have it again. Sent up to the blue line. Picked up by Hanson. Hanson sends it back in. Elks will get it. Clear the zone. Cardinals have it in the corner. Sent up ice. Past everybody into the Elk River zone. Brotzel has it. Sent ahead to Miller. Miller gets run into the boards. Back up to center ice. Salo pokes it ahead. Cardinals get it again. Sent back. Try to send it back and deflect off the Cardinal. Herbert to Miller. Miller gets to Salo, and that'll end the second period. After two, Elks leading 6-2. Shots in favor of the Elks 33-9. We'll have a Zamboni break. back for the start of the third. Millis will take the draw. Millis, Miller, Salo. Ref will chase Millis out of the draw. Now Miller will take the draw. Along the boards, Alexandri has it back in their zone. Cardinals look up ice. Set deep, back behind the net. Hansen gets there first, taken away by the Cardinals. Back up the boards to Salo. Salo tries to send it across, broken up, comes right back to Salo, back up ice. Miller takes the hit. He gets sat down along the boards. Right ahead. Salo with it. Carries it in. Sends it across to Hansen. Hansen walks in. Hansen shot goalie with the save. Rebound comes out. Rebound still out. Goal. Weird signal by the official. Schultz gives the Elks a 7-2 lead. Cardinals have it back in their zone. Cardinals look ahead, played off the boards. Sent back out in the neutral zone. Gustafson will pick up along the blue line. He walks in the middle, he takes a shot, goalie with a save. Gustafson along the boards, gets to Schultz. Schultz plays it across to Lerberg. Lerberg sends it deep. Back behind the net, up the boards. Schultz and Gustafson. Brotzel's shot goalie sees that, makes a save. Harrison's the draw now. Up the boards. Remick holds. Back behind the net, pass out front to Harris. Harris is looking for his hat trick. Goalie will cover that up. Tied up. Puck comes towards the slot. Johnson with a shot. Goalie directs that just wide. Back out in front, Johnson another shot. That gets deflected. Libert's able to hold the blue line. Libert sends it back down to Harris. Harris plays it up top. Sent across, intercepted by the Cardinals. Cardinals up ice. Brotzel gets back, pokes it away. And Brotzel will throw that to the corner. Libert throws it along the boards to Johnson. Johnson gets it back to Harris. Harris at center ice. Carries it in. Poked away, out in the neutral zone. Remick throws it back in the zone. Elks need to clear. Cardinals with it. Sent up ice. Broken stick, one of the Cardinal players. Millis with it now. Millis plays it ahead. Poked off his stick, comes back to Johnson. Johnson sends it back down low to Millis. Millis up top. Shot, goal with a save, rebound out, another shot, goal! Max Johnson makes it 8-2. On the drop. Comes back to Norton. Norton sends it ahead to Salo. Salo not able to pick it up. The Cardinals push it towards the blue line and into the zone. Barth goes along the board. Salo with it. Salo back to Barth. Barth to Miller. Miller throws it ahead to Salos, or to Millis. Millis gives it to Salo. Salo throws it back down low. Millis goes for it in the corner, back behind the net. Miller picks it up. Miller tried to center it, gets kicked away to Norton. Norton takes a shot just wide of the net. Back of the boards, Barth holds. Tries to play it back down low. Cardinals knock it away. Barth knocks it off his stick out the neutral zone. Miller with it now. Miller will turn up ice. Miller carries it in. Miller stays with the puck, gets it out in front to Millis, poked away by the goalie. Up of the boards, Millis has it, leaves it for Holmes. Puck loose out in front, hits the post. Puck still loose out in front, hits the crossbar, goes wide. Hansen holds. Hansen sends it in, that gets deflected wide. Salo has it, drops back below the goal line. Cardinals with it. Played ahead, Miller runs into the boards. Miller throws it back up the boards. Up top to Holmes. Holmes sends a shot, deflected. Goalie will glove that. 11:09 left in the third. Up to 44 shots. Give a shout out to Steve Todd. Shout out to Steve Todd from Detroit Lakes. We are in running time now. Up the boards. In the Elk River zone, Schultz with it. Schultz plays it across to Holmes. Holmes pass is intercepted. Cardinals can't play it. Holmes gets it back. Push back into the Cardinals zone. Holmes will pick it up along the boards. Holmes has it poked away. He'll get it back in the corner. Throw it back up top to Gustafson. Gustafson with it. Gustafson shot. Goalie will direct that wide. Back up ice. Elks hold right at the blue line. Holmes gets it, sends it right back down low. Cardinals have it behind the net. Cardinals can't play it. Now they'll get it back. Cardinals skate it out. They'll cross center ice. Blue zone. Hansen plays it head to Schultz. Gets it to Gustafson. Back to Hansen. Or to Schultz and Gustafson. Holmes has it now. Sent up ice to Schultz. Schultz cuts towards the middle to Remick. Remick's shot attempt is broken up. Back behind the net. Wide of the net, into the corner. Cardinals have it. Up top, Brossel with it. Brossel misplays it, gets it back. It's sent back into the zone. Elks can't hold the zone. Comes back to Lerberg. Lerberg will send it deep. Up the boards, Cardinals will skate it out. Puck's loose, picked up by Harris. Harris will skate it in. Harris shot, gets deflected. Goalie will cover that up. Cardinal players going after Remick. Up top, now leads the zone. Foot race. Into the corner. Cardinals shot. Jansen with the save. Rebounds out. And Jansen will cover. He can't cover it, but it's pulled away. Harris has it knocked off his stick. He gets it back. Poked away by the Cardinals. Cardinals will pick up in the corner, back behind the net. Brossel with it now. Up top. Sent back down low. Lerberg has it. Lerberg gets to Remick. Remick sends it across to Johnson. Johnson flips it into the zone. Back behind the net. Back at the boards. Cardinals will skate it out. Salo knocks it away. Cardinals get it back. Cardinals misplayed in their zone. Salo and Millis pressuring. Cardinals will send it back into the Elk River zone. Barth has it. Sent ahead to Salo. Salo gets it to Millis. Millis can't pick it up as in his skates. Cardinals get it back. Carried in. Miller chops it off his stick. Cardinals get it back towards the slot. Shot. Directed into the corner. Salo plays it ahead to Miller. Miller sent it across. He thought Millis was behind him. Norton up ice. Carried in. Drops back from Miller. Miller's shot. Goalie knocks that down and he will cover the rebound. All the Cardinals going after Miller. Up top, held in by Holmes. Holmes takes a shot, knocked away. Comes back to Salo. His shot is blocked. Cardinals get out in the neutral zone. Hansen has it taken away. Salo back. Salo pokes it away. Salo back on the neutral zone. Salo gets to Miller. Miller throws it across. Trying to go for Millis. Taken away by the Cardinals. Comes back to Hansen. Hansen carries it in. Over to Millis. Millis shot. Goalie will glove. With a whistle. 6:23 and counting. That was leading 8-2. Schultz tries to play it down low. Cardinals knock it away. Comes back to Gustafson. Gustafson skates in. Gustafson shot. Goalie with a save. Sent up to the blue line. Picked up by Holmes. Holmes will skate it right back into the Cardinal zone. He drops it back to Johnson. Comes up top to Hansen. Hansen shot. Goalie sees it and he's covered. Gustafson gets run into the goalie by one of the Cardinals. Sent up ice. Cardinals will get it out. Carried into the Elk River zone. Up goes back behind the net. Holmes gets there first. He gets tied up. Cardinals pick it up along the boards. Back behind the net. Holmes has it again. Holmes will play it ahead. He gets run into the boards again. Hansen pull the puck away. Hansen skates it up. Off the glass. Into the Cardinal zone. They'll call icing. It'll be under 4:30 by the time we get a face-off. Tied up at the dot. Harris gets shoved down. Johnson throws it across to Remick. Remick up ice. Remick into the zone. He absorbs the contact. Back behind the net. Back up the boards. Harris out in front. Harris shot. Goalie with a save. Rebound comes out. Bodies everywhere at the blue line. Harris gets it back. Harris throws it back to Lurberg. Lurberg head to Brotzel. Brotzel skates it in. Brotzel back to Remick. Remick gives it up top to Lurberg. Lurberg takes a shot. Goalie will knock it down. Rebound comes out back along the boards. Brotzel has it again. Brotzel skates it in. Poked away. Comes up top to Johnson. Johnson to Harris. Harris shot. Goalie with a save. Out front. Remick shot. Rebound. Goal! Remick will make it 9-2 Elk. That puts Elks over 50 shots in. 50-11. Shots in favor of the Elk. Cardinals have it, being pressured by Miller. Into the zone. Played across. Up to the blue line and out. Salo gets it back. Salo will carry it right back in. Gets it to Miller. Miller sidesteps one. He has a second on him. Millis has it now. Battle for it along the boards. We're going to get a penalty called on Millis. Stick was being held, but they're going to call him for a hook, I'm guessing. Back up the boards. Elks touch, and it'll be a penalty. Slash is the call on Millis. Stops for the penalty. Miller on the draw. Gets it to Harris. Or Norton, I'm sorry, Norton plays it ahead. Miller gets it up ice. Miller can skate it up. Miller and Salo coming in. Miller's shot, goalie with the save. Rebound behind the net. Cardinals play it ahead. Barth throws it back to the boards. Cardinals will hold at the blue line. Sends it far side of the corner. Comes back to Norton. Norton sends it up ice. Salo is going to get back to challenge the goalie. Goalie will throw it back up the boards. Out towards the slot. Cardinals have it. Into the zone. Taken away by Hansen. Salo throws it back up ice. Goalie to play it. Cardinals carried in the Elk River zone. Schultz ties him up. Hansen picks the puck up. Hansen's going to throw him off the glass all the way up ice. Cardinals throw it back up on the neutral zone. Taken away by Gustafson. He'll throw it ahead, but hits Schultz. Cardinals get it back. 1 minute left in the third period. Cardinals skated in. Gustafson and Hansen battling for it. Cardinals get it back. They're going to whistle. Cardinal player was chopping at the Elks. He's going to go to the box. Not the first one he's done it to. Seconds left on the penalty of Miller. We are 4-on-4 for 19 seconds. Clock running. Ref says get the clock moving. Shot out front. Gustafson tries to get on his stick. Another shot attempt broken up by the Cardinals. They'll skate it up ice. Broken up by the Elks. Offsides, I think. Yep. Miller's out of the box. We may not even get a face-off. The puck ended up on the Elks bench. That's going to end it. Elks win this one 9-2. Stop counting shots from my end. It'll be 55-11 in favor of the Elks. That is it from Alexandria JV. 60 victory over the Cardinals.